Well, as night follows day, you can guarantee that hardline Remainers, time after time after time we've seen it now, call for EU Brexit extensions. And of course, with the end of the transition period fast approaching the end of this month, we've seen it yet again. Everyone from Sadiq Khan to Nicola Sturgeon now doing everything they can to try and secure yet another extension. Going to bring you all the very latest in this report, guys, but please make sure you've hit that subscribe button and the bell so you do not miss future reports here on the channel. Now, of course, I sincerely hope that the government completely ignore these ludicrous calls. I mean, my oh my, we've seen these negotiations this year go on and on and on, haven't we? I wanted us to walk away quite a long time ago. The fact that these negotiations now have dragged deep into December, when the transition period, of course, finishes at the end of this month, we should have walked away a long time ago. But the idea of extending this and going round and round in circles for even longer is just absolute crackpot idea put about by people who at every single step have tried to overturn the original 2016 referendum result, have tried to stop Brexit completely, or else dilute, water down and stop the process as much as they possibly can. And we're seeing exactly the same thing happen again now. As I've said, frankly, I would have much preferred we'd walked away and made clear that there was going to be no deal months ago. The fact is, the latest we hear on fisheries, well, that opening offer of 15 to 18% of what is rightfully ours has now gone up to 25%. The level playing field now seems to have gone into a rigged playing field where the EU actually wants the ability to do things while restricting the UK from doing similar. Absolutely, completely unacceptable that we would fall into a so-called deal where there's a rigged playing field where the UK gets punished for exercising our independence via Brexit competitive advantage. But we've even seen today some Conservative MPs talk about extending the Brexit transition period. Here's Conservative MP Tobias Ellwood saying, "Let Brexit talks continue," he says. "The biggest decision in a generation, 98% agreed, exceeding Canada's. These are far," he says, "from ideal conditions to rationally determine our future prosperity and security terms. If there's no deal by NY, let's do what's best for the UK and pause the clock." And we've seen another Conservative MP, Simon Hoare, with worsening COVID situation, time of the year, "I'd really like to see the clock temporarily stopped." That's another way of putting it, I guess. On Brexit talks, there's no parliamentary time, he says, to scrutinise and agree a deal, and daily clarity of the dangers of the already pressured economy of no deal is alarming. Time for maturity. Now, thankfully, these people are quite marginal. Now, some other Conservative MPs have actually hit back at this, including Simon Clarke, who said only pressure from the same voices as last year in terms of an extension. "It's rightly in law that we are not going to do this. As we have seen, it's only a deadline that focuses the talks. If a good agreement is possible, great. If not, it's time to leave on Australia terms and move forward." Another Conservative MP, Jacob Young, also saying similar, "Absolutely not to a Brexit transition extension. What can we expect," he says, "to gain by extending the transition period? What avenues have not been explored over the last 4.5 years?" And David Campbell-Bannerman, a former Conservative MEP, saying ridiculous last grasp of the Remain campaign, Sturgeon included. "The British people just want to get on now. A bit of turbulence, a small price to pay for a momentous journey." And just to show you there, you've had London Mayor Sadiq Khan saying that he's urging the government to officially seek an extension to the Brexit transition period. You've also got the SNP's Nicola Sturgeon there saying it's imperative that Boris Johnson agrees to extend the Brexit transition period. Interestingly enough, I found this remark quite interesting from Lord Ashcroft. "So will the EU," he said, this thing was a few days ago, "so will the EU keep the UK talking and talking and then offer an extension to the transition period to continue to go the extra mile," and so on and on and on. And again, viewers of this channel will know, you could have looked at the statements from the UK and the EU in these negotiations months and months and months. I mean, frankly, the readouts that we were getting in December, the conclusions of the negotiations, weren't that different to what we were getting months and months and months before. Level playing field, fisheries, enforcement procedures, all this sort of stuff where the EU's demands are frankly insane and completely unacceptable and incompatible with Independent UK. Now, in terms of what the government are saying about a potential extension, well, it looks like they're holding firm. Downing Street, it was reported today, categorically ruling out an extension of the transition period. It will end on the 31st of December. That remains our position. Also been reported that number 10 ruling out provisional application of any trade deal. It's December the 31st or nothing. PM spokesman has said he's been clear that any agreement needs to be ratified and that MPs would get a vote to do that. Also rules out any standstill agreement, it's deal or no deal. Now, I'll just go back to what Lord Frost said himself back in April. He said that as we prepare for the next round of negotiations, again, this was back in April, I believe, he said, I want to reiterate the government's position on the transition period created following our withdrawal from the EU. Transition ends on the 31st of December this year. We will not ask to extend it. If the EU asks, we will say no. Extending, Lord Frost went on to make the point, extending would simply prolong negotiations, create even more uncertainty, leave us liable to pay more to the EU in future, and keep us bound by evolving EU laws at a time when we need to control our own affairs. In short, it's not in the UK's interest to extend. Now, I did ask, and I'm trying to make this the most interactive channel on YouTube, guys, so do hit that join button to become a supporter. You get the members badge there next to your name. I asked my supporters what they made of this desperate last gasp push from hardline Remainers for an extension. Paul saying they had it 4 years to sort it out. No more extensions, and that's enough is enough. We should walk away. Thanks for your support, Paul. Ian saying there is simply no point in an extension unless there is a seismic move from the EU. The EU do not want a trade deal. It has to include punishment terms. Let's go WTO and do trade deals with those who want to trade, not those who seek to control our laws, waters and borders. Carol Ann also said, we've been more generous with the EU and they've been relentless. Now it's time to walk away. And Brian saying this is a boring game. Why does Boris not just pull the plug and go for no deal? As for extension, he says, the EU would spin it out beyond the next general election. Ridiculous. End it today. So I know the overwhelming sentiment on this channel, and I think with the British people at large, is that any prospect of the transition being extended is an absolute non-starter. Interestingly to see, even now, even after the British people have spoken time and time again, you've got the likes of Nicola Sturgeon, you've got the likes of Sadiq Khan still wanting to extend. Let's hope Boris Johnson holds firm. Let's hope we walk away with a clean break on the 1st of January. One thing's for sure, guys, you can rely on me, you can rely on this channel to keep bringing you all the very latest. So please make sure you've hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you found this video helpful and informative, and of course you can support my work by hitting the join button. See the link in the top pinned comment to become a member and get that members badge next to your name. And of course, guys, as ever, thanks for watching.